The village hugged the river, small wooden houses lined the banks. For generations boats were their lifeline. They fished, traded, and visited family in their boats. Life wasn't easy, but it was theirs. The river gave, and the river took. But the villagers learned to live with its rhythm. They respected the water, for it was their world. One spring, a sickness came. It spread quickly, house to house. People grew weak. Fear gripped the village. The village elder called a meeting. "We must leave," he said, his voice raspy. "We must find a new home, before it's too late." There was only one boat big enough to carry everyone. Panic filled the air. Who would get on board? The village had a beggar, old and frail. He lived on scraps, always smiling. He had nothing, but he offered kindness to all. There was also a wealthy landlord. He owned most of the land. He was greedy, hoarding his wealth. He cared only for himself. When the sickness struck, the landlord panicked. He pushed his way to the front of the crowd. He had to be on that boat. Section 4. The last boat. The boat was full. Only one spot remained. The sailor looked at the crowd. His eyes fell on the landlord, then on the beggar. "Please," the landlord begged, his voice trembling. "I'll pay you anything, just let me on." The beggar stood quietly. He didn't plead or push, he simply smiled at the sailor. The sailor made his choice. He reached for the beggar's hand. "Come," he said gently, "there's a place for you." Section 5. What we sow. The boat sailed away, leaving the landlord on the shore. He watched it disappear, his face a mask of despair. He had learned too late. Kindness is worth more than gold. The beggar, sitting peacefully in the boat, knew this truth. He had lived it. His kindness, though small, had saved him. We reap what we sow. The beggar sowed kindness and reaped life. The landlord sowed greed and reaped despair. The universe keeps its own accounts. What we give, we get back, in ways we may not always see.